Hello everyone, it's Ian from Cromford Collector's Corner. I'm here today to quickly show you something a little bit interesting and unusual that I currently have in my little semi-rural geekery in Cromford in Derbyshire. What I'm going to show you today, guys, is a Prose magazine cover dated January 1939. This is Amazing Stories. And Amazing Stories ran for nearly 100 years on and off. But what I've got here, guys, is the first printing of a story called I, Robot by someone called Eando Binder. Now, when I first noticed that, the name I, Robot obviously is famous for being a film, but it was the name of the first compilation of Asimov's stories, originally published in 1950. So keep in mind that this is 1939. That immediately got me thinking. I've done a bit of research into this, and it turns out that Eando Binder is a nom de plume for Earl and Otto Binder. And Otto Binder is a massive name in the kind of comic book scene, co-created Supergirl and wrote lots and lots and lots of comic book stuff, but was an enormously prolific writer. He's credited with over 4,400 stories. Amazing. The story is one of a series. This is the first one, but it was a part of a series of stories about the robot that you can see here. This is Adam Link, who appeared in a series of stories by Eando Binder around this time. I've read that it was one of the first stories to move away from the kind of Frankenstein's monster trope, which had been kind of prolific in the science fiction scene up to this point. Interestingly, it was been adapted into a comic book form several times. It was adapted by EC in 1955, and it was also several of the stories were adapted by Warren Publishing in Creepy between 1965 and 1967. Interestingly, it was also adapted into episodes of The Outer Limits, both in the 1960s and in the 1990s, both of which starred Leonard Nimoy. The whole Isaac Asimov thing is quite interesting. It turns out that Isaac Asimov was hugely inspired by this story, and in 1950 or 1949, when his publisher was putting together the first compilation of his stories, he named it I, Robot, even though Asimov objected because of the story I have here. Nevertheless, what this is, my friends, is Amazing Stories, cover dated January 1939, and it's in really, really nice condition. Thanks so much, everyone. See you later. Bye.